Transport is the movement of humans, animals, and goods from one location to another. This process is as old as human existence. However, the mode used in this process of movement has changed over a period of time. The first means of transport involved walking, running, and swimming. The domestication of animals introduced a new way to lay the burden of transport on more powerful creatures. Inventions such as the wheels and sleds helped make animal transport more efficient. Wheels were attached to carts and chariots. The Industrial Revolution in the 19th century saw a number of inventions. Invention of steam engines for rail transport and the ship for the sea transport sped up the domestic and the global transport respectively. In 1903, invention of airplane have paved the way to transport people and goods over a long distance in a short time. Now, if you have to travel from India to US, it takes just 16 to 18 hours to reach there. The journey starting from animal power to steam engine and then to fossil fuel shows the evolution in the field of transport. Welcome friends, my name is Prafulla Shrivastava. In the series of videos I will be giving introduction and will discuss about the historical development of logistics and shipping. Here we begin with logistics. Economic indicators are the most significant elements that enable us to understand economic growth and development levels. These indicators evaluate and judge the overall health of an economy and predicts the future performance. Positive and high value of economic indicators affect the economic, social, psychological, and cultural texture of a country positively. As far as logistics is concerned, it is one of the tools that play an important role in the change and improvement of economic indicators. Logistics industry provides significant macro contributions to the national economy by creating employment and generating national income and also affecting inflow of foreign investment. How? Serving as a major enabler of growth of trade and commerce if it facilitate economic transaction. Economic transactions are important activities which help sale of virtually all goods and services. If goods do not arrive in proper place or in the proper condition, no sale can be made and thus all economic activity throughout the supply chain will suffer. For example, if there is a place which is uh, flooded with water and it is totally cut off from rest of the country, nothing can reach there because no road connectivity. Okay, what would happen in that condition? The trade will suffer because the inflow of material is totally stopped. So the economic activity in that place either it slows down or it is totally closed down. Economic indicators have a significant role to play in the country's economic development. So let us discuss some of the important economic indicators which attract global investment. So the first one is the GDP, that is gross domestic product. GDP shows the overall size of an economy. It represents the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a given period. The expansion of GDP indicates growing economy, whereas the contraction indicates the slowing down of an economy. The second is the CES, that is current employment statistics. It provides comprehensive data on national employment, unemployment, wages, and salaries. The productivity and wealth of a country's citizen is the ultimate determinant of economic success. The third is the CPI, that is Consumer Purchasing Index. CPI, it measures changes in the price paid for consumer goods and services by urban consumers for the specified month. It is the gauge of inflation rate. The fourth is the central bank monetary policy. Central bank of a country creates monetary policy and exert significant control over its economy. Monetary policy is one of the main factor affecting the foreign direct investment. It also affects the import and export of a country. The fifth is the PMI, that is Purchasing Manager Index. It is a survey to collect information on production levels, new orders, inventories, deliveries, backlog, and employment. This information is used to determine expansionary or contractionary outlook of the business. In a general business sense, logistics is the management of the flow of products or services between the point of origin and the point of consumption to meet the requirement of customers at an agreed upon time, cost, and condition. Supply chain management professionals have defined logistics as a process of planning, implementing, and controlling procedures for the efficient and effective transportation and storage of goods, including services and related information from the point of origin to the point of consumption for the purpose of conforming to customer requirements, and it includes inbound, outbound, internal and external movement. The word logistics originated from the combination of Latin words logic and static. It is primarily a military term. Ancient Roman and Greek military officers who were responsible for ensuring the supply and allocation of resources so that soldiers could move forward efficiently were called logisticas. The main importance of logistics was first understood during Second World War. After the World War, US companies recognized the importance of logistics and started taking the advantage of logistics services. Logistics management plans, implements, and control the efficient forward and reverse flow and storage of goods, services, and related information between the point of origin and the point of consumption in order to meet customers' requirements. Now let us understand the logistics activity with one very simple example. In fact, we all practice logistics almost every day. For example, if you visit McDonald's and place order for a combo which includes a burger, French fries, and Coca-Cola, let us see how we perform the logistics activity after that. You take a bite of the burger and take a sip of Coke. Now let's see what activity you have done. You have performed a logistics activity. What you have done, your stomach placed the order that I'm hungry, I need food to eat. Your mind processed it and found food before you and placed order to your hand. Your hand collected the dish of your choice from the plate and take it to your mouth and you consumed it. Okay? Now let us assume that the stomach which has placed the order is your customer, your brain is your logistics manager, food items on the plate are the warehouses for different products, arm is the transporter, and mouth which has consumed the food product is the customer's warehouse. So the activity which is performed is that the customer has placed the order for food to the logistics manager. Logistics manager processed it and checked the availability of the material in warehouses and then advised the transporter to collect the different products from the warehouses in the required quantity. The transporter took all those material in the required quantity to the customer's warehouse for the consumption. Logistics is part of supply chain management, which includes both inbound and outbound logistics activities. Inbound logistics activity relates to the receiving of raw material from the vendors to the manufacturing unit and its conversion to the finished product. Whereas outbound logistics relates to the removal of finished products from the finished product down to the customer's warehouse. So both the activities are being performed in a manufacturing unit. Uh, we discuss about the outbound logistics activities for the convenience of understanding. Let us see how outbound logistics activity performed in a manufacturing unit. The customer places the purchase order on the unit. Purchase order, it includes the description of the material to be produced, the quantity to be produced, and all the technical parameters related to the material to be produced. Uh, the moment purchase order is received in the unit, it is handed over to the logistics manager. The job of the logistics manager is to check the availability of the material in the finished product godown. If it is available, matching all the technical parameters and everything, the logistics manager contact the customer and request for the release of the dispatch device. If the material is not available, the logistics manager hand over the purchase order to the production department. The production department produces the material adhering to the technical parameters and the quantity as described in the purchase order. Once the finished product is available, it is shifted to the finished product godown and the logistics manager speaks to the customer request for the release of the dispatch advice. Dispatch advice is a document which again gives the details about the product, its technical parameters and the quantity to be dispatched. Besides, the price and other commercial terms are there in that dispatch advice. Once the dispatch advice is received, the logistics manager arranges the transport from the transporter, shift the product in the required quantity in the vehicle, prepares the dispatch documents and dispatch the consignment. Simultaneously, the logistics manager communicates the dispatch details to the customer. But the logistics manager's duty ceases only once the material reaches to the customer's warehouse safely. In a spinning unit where yarn is manufactured, the purchase order from the customer is received. The purchase order, which describes the yarn to be produced, its technical parameter, the total quantity to be produced, its lot size, and the delivery schedule. Once the purchase order is received, it is given to the logistics manager to check the inventory of the finished product if the said material is readily available. If it is readily available, the logistics manager speaks to the customer and requests for the release of the dispatch advice. If the material is not available, The logistics manager hand over the purchase order to the production department to manufacture the said material. The production department manufactures the said material in the described quantity and the quality uh, as per the instructions given in the purchase order. Once the material is available, it is shifted to the finished product godown. The logistics manager requests the customer for the release of the dispatch advice. Dispatch advice is a document which gives clearance for the delivery of the material. It describes again the details of the yarn which is manufactured, its technical parameters, the total quantity to be dispatched, the price and other commercial terms. The logistics manager, after receiving the dispatch advice, arranges the vehicle from the transporter, shift the material in the instructed quantity in the vehicle, prepares the delivery documents, and dispatch the consignment. At the same time, the logistics manager communicates the details to the customer about the dispatch. But the responsibility of the logistics manager ceases once the material reaches in the customer's warehouse. The birth of logistics can be traced back to ancient war times of Greek and Roman empires, when military officers titled as logisticas were assigned the duties of providing services related to supply and distribution of resources. Yes, this was done to enable soldiers to move from their base position to a new forward position efficiently. This was a crucial factor in determining the outcome of wars. The Roman legion combined all three methods of supply in a marvelously flexible system. Superb roads, efficiently organized supply train, which included mobile repair shops, service corps of engineers, artificers, armorers, and other technicians, have made the legion's ability to march fast and far. They could carry 30 days' supply of provisions. Now let us focus on the current slide, which says logistics is considered to have originated in the need to supply the army with weapons, ammunition, and food rations. Military logistics is the discipline of planning and carrying out the movement, supply, and maintenance of military forces. Logistics in military science are activities of units which are supporting combat units by transporting forces, by supplying arms and ammunition, by providing signal communications, and by facilitating medical aid at the front. During the war, whichever country has superior logistics facilities, they always have advantage over the others. Friends, with this I come to end the introduction of logistics. In my next video, I will be giving introduction about the shipping. In the meantime, may I request you to kindly subscribe my video and also request you to forward your suggestions which I will be going to include in my next sessions. Thank you very much.